All right, so moving right along to our next Patreon request, and this one comes from Tom Hibbert, who asked me to do a pretty unique story in the grand scheme of things, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is actually, believe it or not, a Legend of Korra story. As you can see, Legend of Korra: The Cult. So, Legend of Korra: The Cult is just this fascinating idea that Tom Hibbert posed to me, and it's something like I'm surprised they didn't do in the actual show, and they haven't done in the Dark Horse comics yet. I'm actually rather surprised this hasn't happened in any way, shape, or form before now. But anyway, so let's get started with this Patreon request. But as always, if you guys, it's the chair, it's uncomfortable. If you guys would like to send me a Patreon request, just hit the link below, head on over to my Patreon, where you guys can start sending me requests for videos to do here on YouTube. But other than that, hope you all enjoyed this, and let's get started. So this takes place after The Legend of Korra. I would say, comic book wise, probably sometime after Ruins of the Empire. So in here, essentially what's been going on is that Korra is she needs a break. Like, Korra is talking to Asami, and she's just like, I need a break from everything. I have legit been running around non-stop, trying my best not to, like, lose my shit on every human being I see, because I am on the frayed ends of sanity here. Korra has been running around non-stop trying to put out one fire after the next. After she thought, like, she was basically like, I thought after opening the portal, taking care of Kuvira, that would be it. Like, my job would be over. Like, I could have some time to rest. But aside from, getting into a relationship with you, Asami, I have been running around nonstop, and nothing's been okay. Like, nothing has been okay in any way, shape, or form. And now Korra is just like, God, I could just go for another vacation right about now. But unfortunately, before that happens, I'm tired. The Republic City police force comes in and knocks on her door with Mako and Lin there, and they're like, Korra, can we speak to you? And she's like, what's going on? Am I in trouble? And she's like, that's a hard question to ask right now. Can you come down to the station? We need you to look at something. So Korra and Asami begrudgingly go down there to see what the problem is. And the problem in question is that there's someone in there who has been locked up and demanding to see Korra. That person is this guy who is an acolyte for a new cult that's been showing up. And that cult, and this guy, Korra asks, like, what's he charged for? And he said, and Mako says, it's for murder. He killed a pair of store owners out of random. He didn't take any money or whatever. He just straight up murdered two people and killed them in your name. And Korra's like, what? I didn't tell him to do this. I don't even know the guy. And they're like, we know, but he won't talk to anyone but you. And Korra's like, yeah, I'm gonna make him talk. So Korra goes in there, and the guy goes, the great, the Avatar, I'm so happy to see you. I'm so glad we can finally meet. Korra, like, literally just metal bends the guy to the wall, and she says, you killed two people because you wanted to get my attention. Well, here it is. Why did you want me? Are you here to kill me? He's like, no, I killed those people because I wanted to get your attention. I'm here because we believe in you. Like, we've believed in you ever since you've opened the portals, ever since, like, the cycle of the Avatar. And they're like, and Korra's like, what? And they're like, oh, excuse me, I represent. The guy's like, excuse me, I've been so excited to meet you, I didn't think clearly. Let me explain from the beginning. And he explains that he's from this group that has been. He represents a cult called the Cycle. And the Cycle has been around since Aang's time. Essentially what's been going on is that for the past 70 years since the Avatar Aang, there's been a cult of non-benders and benders alike, and it's been a far fringe group of cultists who like seen the Avatar as a living god, and they've seen it. They've seen the Avatar cycle for ages and viewed the Avatar as like a living god among people, and someone who they want to, like, they believe that worshiping the god, like they believe like it's almost like a Masonic feel for them as the Avatar, because it's a living god on Earth. Like the guy explains, like, the cycle has been growing ever since, you know, your era. It was a fringe group when it was with Aang, and even Aang did not like know of our existence. But ever since, like, all your great feats, the cult has been growing and growing, and now we're finally ready to, like, reveal ourselves to the world, just as you reveal yourself to the world every, you know, generation. And Korra is like, that makes no sense. Why would you kill people? And they're like, because those people I murdered didn't believe in you. I was just there buying fruit, and then they talked about how much they hated you, and I killed them for, you know, in your honor. And she's like, I don't want you to kill anyone. This is sick. I'm not some god. And the guy goes, aren't you not? Like, you opened the portal to the spirit world here in Republic City. You created a new portal. You left the doors open for the spirit world and our world to interact. You saved our civilization countless times. Not just you, but all of your past lives. And Korra is just like, this doesn't make any sense. I'm human like all of you. I've made mistakes. Obviously, I have made some fuck-ups. So I don't know why you would choose to worship me, but this ends now. And she's like, who is your leader? And the guy goes, like, our leader and our organization have been growing, but our current leader, Zin, he goes by the name of Zin, and Zin is like, he's been more or less like he's calling himself the voice of the Avatar, and he's like, and Korra's like, well, I'm gonna end this voice real fast. So she tells Mako to keep this guy like locked up. I'm gonna go find about this cult of the Avatar. So Korra starts just tearing up places left and right, looking for answers about this cult. Like, she is just going ham everywhere she goes in order to find out where this cult is and where this cult started. Is there any leads? And it's a lot harder than she thought it would be. Like, this is like, she's having trouble like finding like leads and whatever, but eventually these acolytes start coming out and seeing Korra and are like, the great Avatar wants to see us, let's reveal ourselves. So they actually like reveal themselves, and not only that, like, one of them actually makes like a makeshift bomb to prove, like, Avatar Korra, this is my love for you, and like jumps off of a building into a crowd and just kills people left and right in a suicide bombing. And Korra's just horrified, and like Korra like goes back to Asami and she's like, I can't believe like everything I've done, every act is to protect people, and these people are killing innocent civilians in my name. Like, how can the Avatar, be a force for good if they can inspire that level of evil? And Asami's like, that's not you. These are fanatics who are, using their power over others and perverting what you stand for. The only way this is going to end is when you find the Zin guy and take him out. So Korra's like, you're right, and she begins her search for Zin later. However, Korra left Asami unguarded, and the acolytes of this cult break into Asami's house. Asami fights and takes down a few of them, but she is captured. And eventually Zin sends a message to Korra saying, hey, we have your lover, and we would be honored if you would meet us. So Korra goes to this just rundown part of Republic City and meets the Cycle and their leader Zin. And Zin is a guy who became an airbender, and he has been more or less like making up these ideas and rules, and Korra is like, you are nothing but a charlatan, and you have been perverting perverting the avatar name of the avatar with this whole cycle crap, and I'm gonna take you down. And Zin is like, hold on, you're gonna want to hear this part. They have Asami, and they're gonna sacrifice her in Korra's name, but Korra just goes Avatar state, stops the fire, defeats the Acolyte, the Cycle members, and actually takes down Zim in a fight. Because Zin isn't a fighter. He's not much of a threat even as an Airbender. And Zin is like, yes, kill me, kill me in your forever light, and show the world that you are the god that we've been waiting for. Show them a god's true love. And Korra's like, I'm not a god. You do not speak for me. And she tells them, like, I'm human as all of you. She even cuts her hand to prove that gods don't bleed. I bleed, and I make mistakes like all of you. And the police do round up the cult. Some of them are disillusioned. Some of them are still fanatical. And that's the thing, is that Korra doesn't feel like she won. And it's actually Tenzin who's the hardest thing to defeat is an ideal. And these people, whether you like it or not, have this ideal of you. So, yeah, it kind of Korra did save the day, but it does kind of end on a sour note. So there you go, guys. That is pretty much my Avatar, my Legend of Korra story. Once again, I'd like to thank Tom Hibbert for this Patreon request and continued patronage. Other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in Multiverse.